Shalom, shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, and to you speckled bird Israelites that look like the heathen nations that are scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth. And I also want to give a strong shalom to all you brothers and sisters that may be listening and learning. And a double shalom to all you brothers that are out there on the highways and byways doing the work of the Lord in these last days, that's laboring and that's not magnifying the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, which are the names of who the word and it really calls God and Jesus, which, Yahweh is the name of God and Yahweh Shai is the name of who the word and it really calls Jesus. And I also want to mention that this video is only for the Israelites. And the Israelites who you call today so-called Black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native American, Cuban, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Jamaican, West Indian, so-called, all of these bywords and proverbs that we were called due to the curses in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter in the King James Bible. We are the Israelites. But I'm coming back at y'all with another video on basically, cops in Michigan, being told not to come to certain calls because of gas shortages. Now, I want to get the book of I'm not gonna show it up. I'm not gonna have it show up on the screen. I'm gonna read out of my sword. This is Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Get this real quick. It says, "At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Man, I just want to say the Lord is He's breaking this place apart, man, piece by piece, brick by brick, man. You having these tampon shortages, you having these baby formula shortages, and you having gas shortages, man, or gas prices are rising. People can't really afford to fill up their gas tanks, so that means they can't really go certain places. And the higher they get, well, people's gonna eventually have to start rationing. The decisions that they're making as far as to survive. You're gonna have to choose whether or not you're gonna be able to, pay for that gas to get to work, or pay for this gas, or to, go out to eat with your family, or to even buy food, or you're gonna have to start making these type of choices, man. The average, Jake, the 2/3, because the Lord has his elect, man. The 144,000 and the rest of the 1/3, they're good. Lord willing, I'm in that number. I'm in that conclusion. Lord willing, man. But let's get to this article. It says, high gas prices led a Michigan sheriff to announce deputies would skip calls. Then his statement disappeared. Of course, that's Esau Edom. That's Esau Edom. If you don't know who Esau is the biblical nationality of the so-called white race. All of them. Even though, you have so-called white people that live in Europe and Scotland and UK, and they may call themselves by these different countries, like they may call themselves Australian. They're all so-called white people. They're all Edomites. But all these shortages of, things going on, and just prices of everything rising, it's all orchestrated by the elites of Esau Edom. Let's get that in the book of Job, chapter 9 and verse 24, because the scriptures say the earth was given to the hands of the wicked. I got it, Job chapter 9 and verse 24. It says, "The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" You see? And that's talking about these Edomites, man. They cover up the faces of the judges, which are the judges are, who the world calls Jesus and God. And they painted them over and made them, so-called white people. They were originally dark-skinned men, And that's how you know who the wicked is, and that's how you know who the earth has been given into. And they have all these different meetings about what they're going to do and all these different things. Well, this is a result of it, It trickles on down to, the average citizen, but they ultimately want, chaos to happen. And that's what's going to happen, man. If you can't call the police, for certain things, what's going to happen? People are going to be able to get away with a lot more things. And people can't already afford to pay for gas barely, And that's going to get to the point to where they're going to have to make a decision, like I had mentioned, whether or not they're going to be able to go to work or not go to work. Whether or not they're going to be able to travel somewhere, for fun or something like entertainment, or not, or stay at the house. People are going to have to make these type of decisions in these days that we're coming in. You see, because things are getting too expensive, and eventually people are going to be so down and out to where they're just going to cry and beg for a new system, and that's when Esau is gonna come, with the MOTB, man, and that's gonna really happen during the when there's no food, that's when it's gonna happen. You know, because when people are hungry and people, don't have no food, they're gonna do anything to get that food. You know, I remember at the beginning of 2020 when the C-19 hit, man. In March, they locked everything down. I don't know if it happened exactly in March, but I believe it happened in 2020. Like, there was a state, called Washington in Seattle, which is the city in the state of Washington. There were, citizens that created what you call an autonomous zone, where they basically take over a part of the city, like a section, and then they basically govern it. They basically, tell you what you can and can't do. They're not even, the government. They're not police. They're just average citizens with guns. And they're the ones that stockpile and stuff. That's how it's gonna be. I don't know in these times, man. That's how it's gonna be eventually. But eventually, Esau's gonna come with that solution, man. So people's gonna have to make a decision. And it's gonna get real bad out here. I'm gonna get the book of Second Ezra chapter 15 and 14. Right, because nothing but evil is coming to this place. It says, woe to the world and to them that dwell therein, which is destruction. It says, verse 15 says, for the sword and destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and with swords in their hands. You see, the modern day sword is the gun. You see? And right now, they're trying to take away people's guns. So there's a lot of things going on, man. There's a lot of things going on. It says, verse 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's what's coming too. People are going to be breaking into people's houses. People are going to be invading people's personal space, to get what they need, to survive. Because everything is going up, man. The price of everything is going up, So how are people going to get what they need? They're going to start stealing, going to start killing. All these things, they're already happening at a rapid rate. They're already happening everywhere, and it's skyrocketing in every city, So it's just going to continually get worse, man, One day, you're going to wake up and then you're going to see stuff going on right outside your house, man. You're going to hear screaming. You're going to hear people, people breaking glass, people running. One day, man, it's going to happen. One day, I'm going to get verse 17. It says, a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able right. And if they don't have police eventually, with these gas prices being too high, and they're going to shut down gas stations. And that's what's going to cause riots. That's what's going to cause protests. And chaos is going to break out. Chaos is going to happen because there's no police. And this is not just only happening in Michigan, man. When Esau tells you something, best believe it's way worse than what it really is. This is happening probably in every state, for real, because gas is $5 in every state pretty much. Some states it may be a little lower, but it's still high overall because they said that's the national average. So if one state is doing this, how many other states are doing this? They're not responding to calls, or certain calls, and crime is already through the roof, and then with food shortages and people gonna start revolting, man. People gonna go out bad, man. People gonna go out bad, especially you 2/3, man, and you heathens. The Lord is not even dealing with you heathens, so y'all could just do what y'all do, Get the verse 18. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. You see? It says, verse 19, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, which the sword is a modern day gun, and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. And this is the beginning of great tribulation. That's why I brought out Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, Jacob's trouble. No cops, man. Gas prices going up. Food shortages. All these things are happening simultaneously. I just did a video on tampon shortages. All your basic necessities are being limited, and they're doing this on purpose. They put that squeeze on you on purpose, so you can go crazy and you can beg for a new way of life. Because what's that guy named Klaus Schwab? He got the saying of you're gonna own nothing and be happy. That's their plan. That's their agenda. You know. Let me go to the book of Isaiah, the 31st chapter, I believe. Get there real quick. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to get verse 1 of Isaiah, the 30th chapter. It says, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord. It's talking about you Israelites. This ain't talking about no other nation of people. They take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with their covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. And that walk to go down into Egypt, which Egypt is America, and have not asked on my mouth, and to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, which is, Esau, Edom, Biden, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore, the strength of Pharaoh should be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt should be your confusion. You see, you trusted in this so-called white man, Esau. You depended on his government, you depended on his police system, his educational system, and he's showing his horns, man. He's showing you what it is. He's showing you who he is. Because they had came out and said that they can't do nothing about the gas prices and the cause of rising food prices. They're systematically breaking this system down. How could you not believe Biden is a part of that, or he's the cause, or he's one of the products of it? He's supposed to be your president, right? For you Jakes that believe in America, you trust in the so-called white man, that's why you're going to get caught up out there. That's going to be your shame and your confusion. And we don't feel sorry for you. We don't feel sorry for you. Let's get this in the book of Sirach, chapter 12. It says, Sirach chapter 12 and verse 10, it says, never trust thy enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Verse 11 says, though he humble himself, and go a crouching, yet take good heed, and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. You see? So you're supposed to be beware of this man. You're supposed to be curious and cautious and aware and circumspect at all times when you're around this man, when he says something to you, because what he says is not really what it is. It's to get you, it's to put you in a trap. That's why the scriptures, Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. We have everything in the scriptures, for our, remembrance, for advice. It says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, and thy elders, and they will tell thee. Right now, you got the Lord's prophets set up, the men of great millstone, the elders, the apostles all down, that are set up by Yahweh Shemiyah in these latter days to preach the truth and to wake up the elect. I'm going to say that, but it's going to be all Israelites. I will say, I will believe most of the Israelites will hear it. Most Israelites will hear the word, these latter days before the end fully comes, But this is the beginning of it, If all you people that trust in man, let me get this in the book of Psalms. Is it 117? Psalms chapter 117 or 119? You ain't supposed to trust in man, You're supposed to trust in Yahweh Shema Shah, but a lot of y'all trust in man. Y'all don't trust in the Lord. You don't have no faith. It says, Salakia, Psalms 118. Psalms 118. This might be wrong. Psalms chapter 118 and verse 8. It says, it is better to trust in Yahweh than to put confidence in man. And that's why you're suffering the judgment you're suffering the consequences and the judgment of trusting in this man, because you trust in him. You don't believe in the Lord. A lot of y'all don't pray. Y'all don't seek Yahweh Shemiyah Shah. Y'all don't read, because the scriptures say, blessed is he that readeth. First and foremost, the Lord set up prophets, and that's how you're going to get this understanding, is through the men of the Lord that he has set up. A lot of y'all just walk past the camp. Y'all act like y'all don't see us, or if you do, you scoffing. Hey, well, you're going to have to reap the benefits of all that stuff that you've been doing, And, you're going to be judged for that, But, I'm going to get verse 9. It says, it is better to trust in Yahweh Shemiyah Shah than to put confidence in princes. It says the same thing You know, which the modern day prince is Esau, Edom, the modern day Pharaoh. You know, that's what the Lord has set up over you. But what has He showed us since we've been over here in America, which is Babylon? Nothing but hatred. You know, nothing but torment, evil. He's done nothing good for you. So why do you expect Him to bring any good out of everything that's happening? Your own president told you to basically it's up to you to get more money. That's what he said. You know, I think it's Biden and somebody else. They said, you know, you should have more money. Well, you should. You know, what type of president is that? You know, so you Jakes, man, y'all gonna get caught up out there, man. You know, you trusting in this man, and you still thinking you're gonna be all right. And we're gonna see, man, those days to come. But I didn't want to make this too drawn out or long. I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna give all honor and glory to Yahweh Shai. Bashim Rakagadash and Shalom to the elect nation of Israel and to speckled bird Israelites that are scattered abroad. And now I want to say, wow, Shalom.